First, I want to extend my thanks to everyone, all of you, for coming here to honor my brother Frank. On behalf of my whole family, we're deeply appreciative of that. Many of you know me, I'm Frank's brother, Michael. But what many of you don't know is that I'm his twin. I was born 363 days after Frank. And back in those days, they used to call that Irish twins, if you were born within a year of the other brother. And in fact, I was always taller than Frank. Even though he was older, I was a bit taller. And my mother tells me that she used to dress us like twins. I was a bit taller, but we wore the same size. And so she would buy identical clothing and send us into the bedroom. And Frank would come out. Mom told me this story just the other day, dressed impeccably, immaculately, and I would come out with mismatched socks and clashing colors. And Frank was he was better at me at dressing, and he was a better student. And quite frankly, I think he was a better man. He did everything well, very, very well. Let me give you some examples of things Frank did well. He was very good at making friends. And not only was he good at making friends, he was really good at keeping them. And I'm looking out at his childhood friends right here that came from far away, because Frank was so good at that. Frank was good at nicknames. My brothers and I all have lifelong nicknames that Frank devised. Mitch and Boo and Chatch and Wabber and Worm. And by the way, this is one, we have at least 3 nicknames each. And we still use them when we get together. Frank was good at humor. He was a master of the situational one-liner. Frank was good at lawyering. When I followed Frank into the legal profession a decade late, and I talked to other lawyers about Frank, and they said, "You're Frank's brother?" They told me, "You've got some big shoes to step into, because Frank is not only an excellent lawyer, but something that's rare and unusual these days, especially in litigation. Frank's a gentleman lawyer. A gentleman lawyer." You could never, and Terry Mannion, one of Frank's very close friends, told me today, this morning, that you could fill up a room with lawyers and there wouldn't be a single one, no matter how bitterly Frank fought with them in a case, who had anything bad to say about Frank Bersani. Frank was good at being a brother. He was all of our favorite brother. Why? Because he was good at listening. He was good at counseling. He never judged, and he gave sound advice. And quite frankly, that's probably what made him such a good lawyer, too. Frank was good at being a husband. Frank was good at being a father, a son, and a friend. And these are the words that describe him in all those capacities. Kind, gentle, generous, patient, fiercely loyal, and unassuming. Frank was good at living. His lifestyle wasn't flashy, flamboyant, no bling bling in Frank's life. Frank lived quietly, a dignified life, surrounding himself always with good friends and family above all else, spending his time, his free time, fathering and being a husband. He never complained about his burdens. He was always comforting others. And yes, Frank was even good at dying. He died as he lived, quietly, without complaining, surrounded by friends, good friends, and the arms of his wife, Kitty. Yes, he died painlessly, but our pain, what about that? Grief. Someone just told me the other day, they said, grief, you should relish your grief. Enjoy your grief. Because if we're deeply wounded, it's because we deeply loved Frank. Better to love deeply and grieve deeply than to love shallowly and grieve shallowly. So I am proud of my grief, and I hope you all are. Frank's death moves us because his life bettered us. You know, every year, for 2 days, I was the same age as Frank. We enjoyed that so much. July 1st would come along and I'd say, Frank, I'm 10 just like you. You're right, Mike, we got 2 days to be 10 together. And then we would have our birthday party together. We'd have our friends together. And I'd catch up with him every year. And then 2 days later, he'd shoot ahead of me again. A year from now, I just thought of this today. A year from now, I'm going to catch up to Frank for the last time. And for the first time, I'm going to be older than him. A year from now, how will we all be? We'll still be sad, but I feel confident that Kitty and Alexandra and Christian are going to be fine. And I think that the pain we're experiencing now will have be eclipsed by happy memories, and we will forever relish the privilege of having known and, yes, deeply loved this kind, gentle, patient, unassuming friend, brother, son, husband, and father.